Look at that. Oh, it's nearly past anyway. There you go. Let's get you in a bit as well.
Don't get all this shit in.
You need to talk into that. And then you're in there. I think we're live anyway. Let's see who joins us. 7 people. That's good. Good evening. And we're talking to this camera. That's what I got to remember. Remember which camera we're talking to. The one with the little white light on. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to OffTrack Podcast Live 2025. For the first time this year, myself and my able assistant who's trying to get herself...
I'm slumping. And I tell Dave not to
slump. You tell me not to slump. What are you slumping for?
Yeah, look.
Sit up straight and show off the merch.
I should have done the thing that you put on, shouldn't I? I should have been hiding behind the chair.
Oh, when you popped out my shoulder earlier on. Yeah. Look at this. It's three up already. Beautiful. Good evening, all of you. Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining us. It's a bit of a filler show, this one. It's
not.
It is.
It's vitally important.
It's all filler and no killer. That's what this is.
Gets treated so badly, don't I? Get Jennifer on. She don't really know what she's talking about, but she fills it. Doing. Yeah.
No, brilliant. Thank you so much, everybody, for joining us already. Great to see you. Mick, how are you? Nice to see you, mate. We've got the screen behind us, so if we keep looking away from the camera, we can see exactly what's going on behind, rather than having our phones up on the cradles that we normally have. So it's weird actually looking at the camera and we're behind it, looking back at us with the pink lights in the background.
And I can hear loads of things.
Sorry?
I can hear loads of things.
Like what?
My own bad accent.
Right.
And when you were doing the...
What?
Like that.
What about that?
That'll be my comments on things.
Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. Welcome to OffTrack Live.
Good evening, everybody.
For 2025. Jennifer, welcome to the show. Nice to see you back here again. Nice to do a live with you. We had a great finale to last year with Kyle Ryder when we did the live show with all the technical issues that we had at the end of last season.
Everybody was ever so patient. Thank you.
Our viewers are nothing if not patient.
Hi, Michael.
So normally Jennifer's downstairs when we're doing the live shows with the great Kyle Campbell, as we did last year. Massive thank you to Kyle for helping us out last year. Hopefully we'll see him in the British Superbike paddock this season once again. And we just wanted to throw it out to the floor tonight, really, to throw it out to you, our fantastic subscribers, because doing it this way, normally we get inundated with comments doing a live show, which is absolutely fantastic. Everybody's welcome on the show. Sometimes it's just too much to keep up with. So what we've done tonight is we've gone through the YouTube desktop platform, and we can then put it down to subscribers who can ask questions. Michael Hallam, you'll be barred if you're not careful. And Jam as well. Yeah, it's not going to blow up this time. And oh God, he's in the room, isn't he? Burnley's finest. Good evening, Michael Howarth. Thought we'd barred him.
You can't bar him. He's going to say all the things that we're not allowed to say.
I don't know what we're not allowed to say. What we're going to do tonight, this is going to be questions from the floor. This is going to be Chris Turley. How are you, mate? This is questions from the floor tonight. And we've also, Jennifer did an Instagram story post last week for subjects for us to talk about. We will be doing a full BSB preview show in a couple of weeks with the fine Steve Day. So the intricacies and the ins and outs of riders and their potential and everything for this season, that will roll over to a couple of weeks' time, I think it is.
Just before Alton Park.
The Wednesday before Alton, it'll go out. Yeah, the Wednesday before the first round at Alton Park, which just seems like an age in coming round this year.
It has, but I've always learned. Imagine how much could change between now and then.
Well, yeah. We didn't come into
the way
this.
Things are going.
If you look at the end of last season, last year to the start of this year, and the changes that have gone through with the British Superbike teams and people and everything else, it's been I think it's been a stressful start for Stuart and his team.
It's been a bit nuts, hasn't it?
Yeah, and all the TNT and the backlash for that, and
that was fun.
It's all TNT's fault. If this goes down tonight, it's TNT's fault.
Nothing to do with us.
Because everything else seems to be.
Yeah.
God bless them. They've done nothing wrong other than carry on supporting our lovely sport and taking on what Eurosport unfortunately can't provide anymore. So
I get it though. I get some people genuinely haven't got.
Talking.
Some people genuinely haven't got.
Oh, here we go.
Some people genuinely haven't got an extra 30 quid haven't they? But as we've learned, most people have found a deal on it now.
Yeah.
So I got it free.
Yeah, there's plenty out there on EE and everything else. So we know everything that's going on with it. And it's not for us to go over old ground. There's been so much about it on the BSB forum, which is brilliantly run by Simon Kefford, with some of the comments that he has to put up with.
Oh, there's been some super well-educated people on there.
Super well-educated?
Super well-educated.
That's like beyond university. That's like super well-educated.
Super stupid
They have a
people.
T-shirt when they do that and they go super well-educated.
It's stupid.
I'm going to get one of those. I'm going to get one of those. Super well-educated. Rob Simpson, good evening.
Good evening.
So yeah, we're going to throw it out to you. So throw your questions into the comments as well. Jennifer will be keeping an eye on those. And we've got a couple of...
Should we make a start?
Yeah. Let's make a start, because people are going to get bored before too long and start switching off and watching Coronation Street.
I'm going to throw OMG right out into the middle of it. What the hell? It's been horrible.
No, that was the other team.
OMG. That one as well, though.
Yeah,
that one as well.
Well, it is. Yeah, I mean that was
difficult.
That was an incredible 10 days for the sport. Let's get that one done and dusted first. To see OMG Racing fold the way they did, and to leave a lot of people high and dry. Difficult decision from Al Gardner to fold the team at such short notice. But great to see the Phoenix rise from the ashes. It's great to see Kyle back on a bike for 2025 with OMG and PCR backing, and Nitrous Games as well as their Nitrous Competitions. Nitrous Competitions as their sponsor for the 2025 season. So everything that's come out of it. Kyle's got a ride. Brad's got a ride.
Joe's not got a ride.
The very sad thing is that Joe Talbot is yet to find a ride and yet to announce. I'm hopeful something will come up. I know he put an Instagram post out today saying that he's hopeful that... Oh, go on, you're going to read it?
I'm going to read it.
Oh, in your accent or mine?
For those asking, I will not be riding at Donington. After many attempts and phone calls, I still couldn't find myself a ride. As soon as something pops up for me, I'll let you know. I'm more than devastated to not be going testing on the superbike, but trying to find other solutions. Also, it's not looking promising for me to be riding at round one. I'm genuinely gutted for him.
Me too. Such a great kid. Yeah. And he's got the great thing for Joe is he's got a bright future. He's still only young. Look, if he goes to Supersport, which is where I think he's hoping to be, he's got nothing to prove in national superstock. So if he goes to Supersport and a couple of years' time, the rules decide to change and all of a sudden it becomes next gen Supersport.
How old is he?
From I know you're going to throw me under the bus with that. Was he 20, 21?
So he's only
in the grand scheme of things, he's got his whole career ahead of him. And if he goes to Supersport and that becomes the next gen rules in the next 2 or 3 years, which I think the sport generally will go down because not many people are making 1000cc sports bikes, and the market generally isn't there for them anymore. So to go next gen Supersport, if that's where he cuts his teeth and he steps into the championship when it comes across, he's already going to have an advantage on everybody else. So I don't think it's not necessarily it is a bad thing.
It is. It's really a bad thing.
It's a really bad for this point in time, but for the future, I think it could
Yeah.
play into his hands if it's done right and he's guided right by Andy, his dad, and the people that are around him. Then I think he will be in a good position. It was a shame for Brains, for Reg, for the team that come together around him at OMG Racing. They've all found themselves other positions now.
Yeah, it looks that way.
It looks like the majority have found other positions. I know some have found a home at MLav Racing. Reggie's with Danny Kent now, which I think is brilliant for both of them. The return of Raceways Yamaha, which said we'll go into in a couple of weeks' time, but the welcome back Steve Rogers. A lot of time and a lot of respect for that fella. And Wendy, and it'll be great to see that team back. And it's amazing what can happen in a short space of time. Because when we spoke about it on the Saturday with friends over on WhatsApp, it wasn't happening. And then by the Tuesday, it's like, there it was. We're back and let's get on with it. So
Stuart Hicks put something out, didn't he, to say how surprised he was that they were coming back, that OMG were actually coming back. So I think it's been the most unusual thing.
I can't remember a start to a season like it. I don't think any of you ladies and gentlemen watching at home, it's just the most unique start to a season I think I've ever known. But it's been a tough one for Stuart because there's been negative times for him, the difficulties with FHO, the 810 Racing, for OMG, the TNT saga. It's great. It's been a mess for this through nobody's fault particularly. It's circumstantial on a lot of cases. And in we go with the season just around the corner. Donington test on Friday and Saturday this week. We'll not be making that one, but I will be at the Alton Park test next Wednesday and Thursday, and then we'll both be at the first round and Donington Park with the Northwest 200 in the middle. Do you like the Northwest, Jennifer? How much do you like the Northwest? You're like an 80s rock chick or something. Fist clenched. These jeans. We've done that before on a podcast, haven't we?
Yeah.
And we're not losing viewers yet. That's okay. So no, I think just as that's our view at this point in time for the OMG. Glad to see them back. Difficult situation for everybody. Chuff for LG to get the team back together, to kind of get the band back together. Steve Rogers reappearing at BSB is absolutely brilliant. The sub stories that come from this, and I think it's also a little bit unique that we've got we have six one rider teams that are all championship challengers.
So I know the 3 Yamahas.
3 Yamahas, 3 Ducatis. So three of those are one-man teams.
How many have we got on the grid?
26, I think.
It's good, isn't it?
Will you tell me when you're going to ask me these questions so I can at least have the answers ready? Because then I look like I know what I'm talking about to our fantastic audience.
Absolutely
but no, you're just going to throw me under the number 20, the X43 from Burnley to Manchester.
The night bus.
The night bus. Thank you very much. Yeah, cheers. Yeah, I think it's 24 or 26, something like that.
So it's a good grid.
It's a good, strong grid. It was looking difficult at one point, but yeah, everybody who should be there is there, unfortunately, apart from Joe Talbot. Yeah. And fingers crossed for Joe, he can get a ride sorted in the not too distant future.
And to the best of our knowledge, is Steve Rogers' team, is it going to be called Raceways?
Yeah, I think it's a Raceways. I don't think there's a sponsor because they were the original McCann's Yamaha, weren't they?
So they are Raceways.
But I think I'm pretty sure they're Raceways
and are they
Yamaha.
Now the Yamaha supported.
I believe they are.
We believe
they are the Yamaha supported team for 2025.
That's cool.
So
that's a change as well.
Yeah, that's a big change, a massive change. Tim Martin, he's happy with Danny Kent.
Danny did well last year, didn't he?
Didn't he do good?
Yeah,
and that win at the end of the year was really proved that he can do what he really proved to us that we knew what he can do.
Yeah.
And to have Reg by his side, it could be that little bit, the last 2% that he needs just to make that whole wheel complete.
We had a brilliant time in London. Thank you very much.
Yeah, we did.
Who's their bikes?
We can't see the avatar from here.
We can't see your avatar. I'm not sure who you
have
are.
your proper names on there. It's so much easier. Yeah, 3 Yamahas on the grid is going to be great. 3 Ducatis on the grid is going to be great. It's all individual one-man teams. So there's sub-stories for who wants to be top Yamaha, who wants to be top Ducati. If you're top Yamaha, you're going to be in the BSB title fight. If you're top Ducati, you're going to be in the BSB title fight. And you throw in there Tommy Bridewell on the Honda as well.
Yeah,
Andrew Irwin.
Just said.
Yeah, Andrew Irwin on the Honda as well. Charlie Nesbitt, John McPhee. There's so much more.
Oh, it's J Unit. I know it is now.
Ah, there we are. Now we know who it is. Thanks, Jay. And it is, James. You're right. It is a healthy grid, and it's stacked full of talent. So I'm so excited to see what happens with the test this weekend. Fingers crossed the weather is improved on what the suggestion is. Cold and windy. You have a look at that. Just keep watching the comments as they come through.
What live were you watching this morning, Craig?
Aaron Slight.
Oh yeah.
I must apologise for that this morning. Just slightly go on track goes off track just for a moment or two.
Dave cocked up this morning.
I kind of cocked up a little bit this morning. We had Aaron Slight on the show via our Riverside FM and the way that we do it. And I got going with it. It's just me. There's most times when we go recording, it's just me. So a lot of you take the piss because most of the time you can see me sometimes as I'm sat there with a guest and all of a sudden I'll go just to see if the red lights are still on the camera. And I know they are, but I have to double check because it's just me. And
because a couple of times they've not been on.
Yeah. Good night. So I'm sat here, and then all of a sudden, because my phone's on Do Not Disturb, I didn't know what was going on. And then I get a message from Craig Lowe going, should this be going out now? And then Jen messaged me to say, did you go live with Aaron Slight? I'm like, no, not at all. But Riverside FM went live onto live on Eurosport. Freudian slip. Went live onto YouTube. And I had no idea. So I don't know how many people have watched it. There was
24.
It said 243 views at one point, which is like, so you got a bit of a sneak preview as to what's going on in 2 weeks' time, 3 weeks' time as we stand right now. But Aaron Slight was fantastic. It's been such a good couple of days for chats.
Yeah, it has.
Hickey last night, Aaron Slight this morning, doing the live show now. We've got Steve Day coming up to do the BSB preview. Ray Stringer at round one for BSB. And yeah, we've got to keep this show rolling. We've got to keep things going as best we can.
Press subscribe, please, everyone.
If anybody who's commented, they subscribe. That's the great thing.
Yeah.
And if you want to comment and you can't find out how, you need to subscribe and wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's like a real cheeky way of getting extra subscribers because, you know, you never turn them away, do you? Let's have a quick look through the comments. Rick P. Surprised Franco Bourne has gone to the roads? Yes, incredibly surprised.
Were you?
Yes, yes. Yeah. He should have had a ride in the British Superbike paddock somewhere, somehow. But for whatever reason, it hasn't been forthcoming. To go to the roads is a big surprise because that's a massive step, especially at his age. But you've got Jim Hind in there who's got some great experience behind him. He's been to Scarborough multiple times and he's got to give it a try. I think he's doing Cookstown, if I remember right, as well, with the Counting team.
I'm going to fear for him.
100%.
Yeah, but, I'm going to fear for him.
He's a level-headed kid, and whether he'll make it back into the BSB paddock remains to be seen. He's got a bit of work to do to get back into there. It's disappointing for him and the situation.
He's a win with Rapid Honda. That's a win.
Owen Jenner and why'd you have to say that? Because I haven't got it in my head. Somebody tell me who it is. It's from Halifax.
Jamie Cowan.
No, he's from Hebden Bridge.
Harley.
Harley McCabe.
Harley McCabe.
Thank you. There we go.
Thanks,
Rick. That's what I was looking at. Yeah, and Mick Pringle as well. Yeah, Harley McCabe. Thank you very much. James, no, we Steve Day will be great, but Whit's got a change of angle at the moment. We did speak about it, and then Whit rang me and explained why he didn't want to do it.
No, he did want to do it. It's just a different situation for him, that's all. So he would have loved to do it, but he's just got other things that he needs to do. That's all.
Okay.
Would you not say?
There was a reason why he didn't want to do it. There was a background reason why he didn't want to do it. So, and I fully respect that. He's got other commitments that will work out better for him. He's done some great shows for us in the past, and he's always happy to do it. And it's a shame for us, but for him, it's a much better opportunity because he'll get paid for it. That's the difference.
We don't pay people.
It's a proper commercial way of looking at it. So yeah, I have all the respect in the world for Whit, and I wish him all the very best with the new venture. You might have seen it out and about. I think it's starting to get promoted. I've seen a graphic thumbnail for it that him and Jack Bernicle are doing a podcast together.
We never have domestics, Chris.
Never.
He knows better.
So they've got their own podcast coming out, which will be fantastic. And they've got the commercial side for it. We struggle with the commercial side to be able to contribute to somebody's time. So yeah, it'll be Steve Day's going to join us. We'd already agreed that one anyway. And Steve's going to be a fantastic addition to the show. We've not had him on for ages. And I can't wait to see what he brings to the table. We did a show a couple of 3 years ago. It was the OffTrack Arms. Yeah. As Steve and I were side, the desk was in the far corner here before, and we like Steve. We go back a long way with Steve Day, and he's done a great job.
So much knowledge
he has,
and people do doubt that on his commentary,
which is a strange thing to do.
Because he was new to BSB. He's in the grand scheme of things, he was new to BSB.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I was trying to think what season this is for him now. This is season 4.
This is coming into his 4th.
Because he started in 22,
which is not new to this, but compared to
Oh, when you're up against Jack
Yeah.
Bernicle of 20 odd years experience, then
then it's difficult.
It's a difficult way to they're big boots to follow. Like Duncan following Fred Clark, they're all big boots to follow. So yeah, we wish Whit all the best, and we will see him around at the at BSB. So I'm looking forward to having Steve Day with us. He's gonna give us a great angle into what's going on, and he has his own opinion on things as well, which is really good. So that will be the Wednesday before Alton Park. And yeah, you're right, Matt. He does a great job on TT commentary as well.
I wish he'd showed everybody the
notes
that he did for the TT. You have never seen anything like it. If you could have had that made into a tea towel, he would have made a bloody fortune. It was beautiful. Every corner, what was going on there. There were little pictures on everything. It was amazing, wasn't it?
And this is what happens. This is why being a commentator, it isn't as easy as it looks. It's great sat there on your sofa and pointing out what Greg does wrong, and what Steve does wrong. And it's difficult when you got somebody of Whit's experience alongside you who's done BSB, and JT alongside Greg, or the guys at MotoGP with Gav and Hodgie.
Yeah, but JT gets more stick than
everybody else put together. But it's absolutely it's so personal listening to a race commentary.
Who do you like?
I like them all because I can't do their job.
Go back to ones that aren't commentating anymore. Who did you like? Because loads of people used to say that Jack said the same thing over and over.
Yeah, I think it would be maybe towards the end, but I think he was great. Fred, he made a couple of mess ups before the end, but he was nearly 80 by the time he got there. And Jack was. It's not a young man's sport, but a lot of people, the Bernicle bingo thing didn't help because that really pushed it into people's faces that he says the same thing. But because we watch the same thing over and over again,
there's not too many things that you can say.
There aren't many things you can't say, and you have to cater for a casual audience.
Yeah, you're right. Murray Walker did get criticism.
Yeah, absolutely,
he
did.
Brilliant.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely, Rick. So we watch it every week, so we will listen to it. That you guys and girls listen to me every week, and I repeat myself, especially when we have a TT rider on. We talk about no man's land, and it's the same questions, but not every viewer is a seasoned viewer. We get new viewers every week.
I hope we do.
We do. And it's the same for the racing coverage. If we can't be there, we will watch every round on the TV. But there are people who will dip in and out of the coverage and what's being watched. So it's going to be repetitive at times. Football is the same, depending on the players and what's going on. It's a little bit more fast moving. There's 11 on each side, and there's a bit more. But for Greg, for JT, for all the guys commentating on motorcycle racing now, I wouldn't swap them I won't swap them for a bag of mini eggs.
You're joking?
No.
I'd swap anything for a bag of mini eggs. I saw the funniest thing on TikTok today. So we're not addicted to TikTok in the slightest. But there was a girl sitting in a car, and she had all her worldly belongings with her. And she just said that her boyfriend had finished with her and she was having to leave. And it was because he'd bought her some non-branded mini eggs, some Aldi mini eggs. She was leaving.
Absolutely right.
I'm sure she wasn't, but so if you ever need anybody to leave your life, then non-branded mini eggs.
Buy them non-Cadbury's mini eggs.
Seems to be the way. Yeah.
Let's have a look at some of these comments. What have we got? Leonard Oliver, is there any news with WTF with Hillier and Dom, or is that still all off? At the moment, there's been nothing coming out about James and Dom. Dom's got a Super Twin ride, which was announced last week. James is back on the Super Sport bike with Bournemouth Kawasaki, which is great. They're seeded for the big bikes, so hopefully there'll be something in the offing for them to end up on the grid for the Northwest and for the TT. So I'm pleased with that. Ian, you're quite right. We need to cater for the masses to get more fans on board. It as much as it's like this is our sport, and we don't want football fans, and we want all the fans. We want all the fans because it's more important to have bums on seats and people through the gates and enjoy this great sport of ours, because that's what keeps it going. And that without motorcycle racing, we'd be sat here talking about tiddlywinks, or I don't know what we'd be doing, because it's been my life for God knows how long.
A couple of years now.
Yeah, it's been a couple of years now. Exactly. Get Mr. Howarth on the commentary. He's just dipped out actually because he's just put Mr. Finley to bed, and his mum's had an operation today. So hopefully Mummy Howarth is hopefully Sylvia's feeling better in the not too distant future, that
No,
would be
his mummy, not Michael. Finley's mummy.
Oh, Mummy had an up-to-date. Oh, I thought
Oh, I don't know.
he put a face. Anyway,
Well, I hope everything's
I hope
okay.
everybody's all right as well, and Emily as well.
Yeah.
What else have we got? Keith and Stavros, a laugh on the Northwest 200. No, but they're old school, aren't they? That's the great thing about it. They're old school, and there's still things that they can get away with. And Keith explained that brilliantly on the podcast just after Christmas, that it's very difficult that you can't say what you want. Even I have to catch myself on at times because I can't say what I want to say or what I feel like is right, because it'll be taken out of context, it'll be misconstrued. And you're like, yeah, no, maybe I can't.
You're better off not saying it, unfortunately.
But if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
It's as simple as that. Yeah. And no, Howie is great on the circuit commentary. He knows what he's about. He's funny occasionally. And he brings a great light to it. And I think that's something that Duncan could do with.
Fountain of information.
Is he?
Yeah.
The trickle of information. The trickle of information is Howie. But I think that's something that maybe Duncan could do with on a bit more regular basis at BSB.
Yeah, I agree.
Because Duncan has such an unenviable task of talking through all day, every day.
Even when there's nothing going on.
Even when there's nothing going on, filling that time. He has Scoop with him on a Saturday and a Sunday.
That's what I was looking for, James. Thank you. Fountain of knowledge. It's what I was looking for.
Was that what it was?
Yeah.
No,
we're not going to the TT, I'm afraid. We're dipping out this year, aren't we?
No, not. Absolutely not, sadly.
I'm still considering taking some time off over it just in case.
Well, I've already signed up for TT Plus, so sit and watch it with a bag of Cadbury's Mini X.
I'm gonna hoard some actually.
Start stacking them up because they came into the shops in January and they'll disappear Easter Tuesday.
We could potentially go for the day. I've done it before.
We'll see.
If the weather looks good and the flights are all right, then we might.
We'll try and make an appearance because we had such a great time last year. It's such an amazing event. We love everything about it, and it's just so expensive. That's the difficult thing, to try and get across there for any substantial amount of time to be able to bring you, our fine audience, some great content from there. It's probably the most difficult place to do it because the riders are so under pressure with media commitments and the fact of being on the island as well. We find it difficult enough at the Northwest 200 to try and get people to sit and chat with us. And I'm sure it's not us. It's the fact of where they are and what they're doing. But we're looking forward to the Northwest 200. That's always a great week over on the North Coast. We're going Tuesday to Sunday. And hopefully we'll bring you some great content from there. You'll be walking up and down the grid as usual, doing your Instagram live. And we'll try and bring you some great rider chats from there as well. Just little 10-minute snippets here and there. There won't be 2-hour sit downs because we can't make that happen while we're over there. So it'll be more of a montage of as many people as we can. And maybe some people you haven't heard of as well, because that's something that's gone down really well over the last few weeks. And thank you to all of you that have watched the program, watched the episodes where you don't know who the people are. That's something that makes me really proud, that you trust us enough that we will bring you someone who will be able to tell you stories and give you a different angle on motorcycle racing. We're talking about Matt Lloyd, Pup Lloyd, Johnny Air last week, which has gone down so well. It's something that we want to carry on doing. There's a couple more lined up when we can get them pinned down and get the diaries synced together.
It's very much the worst time of year now for trying to do it because nobody's 100% sure.
Well, I think we're doing this tonight.
Where they need to be at any one time. Sorry.
It's okay. Chris, thank you, mate. Always good to see you, mate. And enjoy the run down to Donington tomorrow. Thank you, mate. That's really kind of you. James, that's what I was saying about the mechanic chats. We've enjoyed them. It's a new thing for me as well, because as most of you know, I'm not in any way, shape or form technically minded. That's why I sit here and do this, because I don't know how that works. So it's a fascination for me. And it's one of those Aaron Slight was talking about this morning, and he was on about the different changes they made with the RC45 and different versus what they changed on the Ducati. And I'm sat there looking at the camera going, oh yeah. Oh. And in my head at the same time, trying to picture what's going on and how to.
Well, what question to ask about it? because when you don't know the subject, it's really difficult to ask a question.
What advice would 52-year-old Dave Neal give 16-year-old Dave Neal? Go and learn how to mechanic a motorbike.
Now we should do a thing on that. We should video that, somebody teaching you how to do the basic mechanics on a motorcycle.
What? Know which end of a spanner to hold?
You know which is back and front, don't you?
Yeah, it's an adjustable.
Yeah.
Can I have a 10mm spanner? There's an adjustable.
Oh, you have a pleb stood behind you that's holding hands.
Yes, so it's a pleb for me. Exactly that.
Yeah. You're right. The TT is so expensive, Mark. It blows my mind every time. And I've done it in numerous ways. I've stopped in the back of a transit van. We've stopped in accommodation, haven't we? And I've done it for the day, and they're all as expensive as each other. It's just killer.
There is no cheap way to do it.
There isn't.
There's no cheap way to do the TT, unfortunately. But the experience is great. If you haven't been, highly recommend it. If you have been, then you know exactly what we mean, especially with the feelings of being at the TT. The Northwest 200 is a great festival atmosphere. It doesn't have that same effect at the TT as we've spoken about on the show before for obvious reasons. But yeah, we'll bring you some great content from there. That's going to be good fun without a shadow of a doubt.
It's really good to see Ty Woofenden up and about.
No question at all. That was,
from what all the reports have said, I think it was a bit touch and go at times in the beginning, wasn't it?
Very much so.
I think he's quite surprised.
He's made of tough stuff, is Ty Woofenden. So yes.
Yeah, he's made of metal now, isn't he?
He is, bless him.
Nearly.
But no, so good. I wasn't expecting to see him up and about that early. After the incident and at the Speedway a couple of weeks ago.
Spend a day with Dave Hewson. That would be so difficult. He's so high energy.
I'd be knackered by the end of it. But we need to. We'll have a chat with Dave at the Northwest. It's been a couple of years since we've had him on.
Is he doing it though this year?
I think he'll be over there helping somebody. I would hope. But yeah, I know he's got a lot on with the Rapid Honda team as well that he's taken on with Harley McCabe and Owen Jenner. So maybe he won't be. Maybe he won't be over there. But I'd like to see him as a guide for newcomers and things like that, along with Steve Plater. I think he would be a great teacher for newcomers to road racing without a shadow of a doubt.
I just want to flick right back up the comments. You don't have to. I can remember it.
What?
Rory on a Ducati.
Oh no, I did see that one.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I did.
Just a few people that commented on it.
Yeah. Yep. We're looking forward to seeing Rory on the Ducati without a shadow of a doubt. I think to finish top 10 at Navarra when the bike hadn't even turned a wheel on before the Saturday shakedown test and be 1.1 off Tommy and Glenn, I think that's a great start for him.
Always difficult for teams swapping bikes.
Absolutely.
Because if they've never worked on that bike, and mind you, in saying that, Johnny Ayres just said that a motorcycle is a motorcycle.
There is an essence to that, but to get it up and running, yes, a motorcycle's a motorcycle, but to get it fast and at the sharp end,
to tweak it,
that's where the skill comes in. So yeah, Taz have had a lot to learn. They've done a lot over the winter, and I think they'll come out swinging for the first round. I think Rory's got a lot to prove to himself. The team, one of the longest serving teams in the British Championship, so they want to see the glory days back, and it's going to be glory days. Why Lincoln Lawyer?
Lincoln Lawyer.
It's all I can think of. Sorry.
The Taz livery. As soon as I saw it, I thought it was the McCann's livery, didn't I?
You thought it was factory Yamaha?
Well, I thought it was factory Yamaha livery.
Because the blue and the black. It looks very, very. It does have factory Yamaha vibes to it, without a shadow of a doubt. But it looks great, and it also looks a little bit like the anniversary Ducati Panigale that was launched maybe a month ago. So it's good. Is it okay? Is the fact it's a Ducati going to help Rory as it's the most stiff race bike style road bike of them all? Potentially, Craig. Yeah, potentially it is. I think it's a lot more compliant than the BMW was for him. And
Very much like his Moto 2 bike, is it? Not at all.
Not at all.
Right. Okay.
Not at all. No. There is nothing like a Moto 2 bike other than another Moto 2 bike. Okay. So it might be a little bit stiffer chassis, a bit more of a focused race bike for him. The seating position might be better. The riding position might suit him a little bit more because Ducati's a race bikes first, road bike second. BMW was a road bike first, race bike second. So it'd be interesting to see how that pans out. And I've just seen Cider Guy pop up as well. This is what we spoke about earlier with the three Ducatis. You've got Glenn at PBM, you've got Rory at Taz, and you've got Leon at Moto Rapido. So
Somebody
the
posted a picture
huge amount of
today.
experience from for Leon and Moto Rapido. As long as the relationship with Leon and Wilf stays harmonious, it'll be fine.
Somebody posted a picture today of
You need to speak up a little bit. You're a bit
sorry.
quiet.
A photo of Marc Marquez next to Leon, and they both had massive smiles on their faces, and it was basically saying, "This is what you get when you ride a Ducati." Yeah, I don't know whether Leon's just going to quite live up to
Marc Marquez.
to Marc Marquez, but he may be having the same level of enjoyment.
It looked like it. He was quick in the test.
Yeah.
So the next litmus test is Donington Park this weekend. Hopefully the weather will improve.
It's beautiful.
Is it beautiful now?
Yeah,
Okay,
beautiful.
so it's changed a little bit. That's good. And it's always windy because it's built next to an airfield, and all motorcycle racing circuits that are built near an airfield are windy. Silverstone, Snetterton, Donington, Thruxton.
I don't miss Silverstone.
No.
At all. Didn't miss it last year at all.
No, it's not a particularly great motorcycle racing circuit. That's for sure. They're just too far away.
Yeah.
Ian Broughton, be interesting to see how 810 Racing go. Well, you'll find out in next week with Peter Hickman on the show. It was such a fantastic chat with Hickey last night.
They're not at Donington though, are they? Did you tell me?
They're not. They won't be. I think that'll be announced
Donington
at some point. I think that they want to get everything right. The BMW, the 2025 BMW M1000RR was late arriving, so I think they're going to sit out Donington, and then they will end up at Alton Park with everything that they need. I think it's just too much too soon for putting everything together, and it makes complete sense.
Why throw it together if you don't have to?
And you only get one chance to make a first impression. So if they're going to turn up as a brand new team with Peter Hickman and Davey Todd as joint owners, then they want to make a statement. So yeah, I get it why they won't be there. It's just too much of a push. Yeah. But Alton Park test, it's more important to test there because we've got a race the following week there.
21 days time. No, 17. What number's John McPhee?
17.
17 days time.
So 17 days from now, we are at round one, which is going to be absolutely superb. I cannot wait for that to come around. It's been a long, long time coming. What else have we got through the... I was talking about Hickey, wasn't I? So I slightly digressed. Hickey himself is absolutely peaking. It's a brand new challenge for him that he's never had before. He's always ridden 4 teams in his later career, sort of 2014 onwards, when he stepped in for the late Simon Andrews RAF Reserves. I
love that bike.
It was
beautiful.
Looking bike. Beautiful looking bike. So, and then never looked back. Went to the TT. That was his first year, and he's been with teams ever since. But to now become joint owner,
the team. He is the team.
It's taken on a whole new perspective. They've got the hospitality unit. They've put everything together, and again, in such a relatively short space of time, to be able to make it work. And I can't imagine the effort that's gone into it because of what he's got with the PHR performance. I'll answer Terry's question in a minute. With Ovale and with Triumph,
he does everything.
And with it was a really fascinating chat. I asked him about last year, and he was really open and honest about the difficulties that he had in 2024, why the crash at the TT happened, how different he is in April 2025 to April 2024. I know he did the Pipe Dreams podcast with James Rispoli and the other fella whose name escapes me because I only watched it briefly.
I don't know who it is. I don't think.
Yeah, man. Wow, cool, gnarly. Yeah, man. Wow.
Is that not James Rispoli?
That's exactly James Rispoli. Yeah. Corey is the other guy. Quite possibly.
Yeah.
So it's a really good chat. It really is. And I can't wait to bring that one to you. The Pipe Dreams one was good, but this is a different angle, and it's a little bit more personal and a little bit deeper into what went on last year and the building of the 810 team. In answer to Terry Stride, why 810 and not PHR? In the same way that FHO and PHR were 2 separate entities, 810 and PHR will remain separate entities. Peter Hickman Racing is a one-stop shop for motorcycle racing needs. He has all sorts in there, and he'll tell you about that on the podcast. I'm not surprising it for everybody. 810 Racing will operate out of a completely different unit. Pete is 100% owner of PHR. He's a 50% owner of 810 Racing. with him and Davey. So it's a completely separate entity. There's no blurred lines. He explains it beautifully. But then you're not saying that's my spanner, that's my wrench, that's it. Everything is completely separate and completely separate units. Today, where have Pete's bikes come from for 810? Were they phase? No, as I said earlier on, they're brand new 2025 M1000 RRs direct from the factory. They are brand new bikes for this year. Last year's bikes, I don't even know where they are. I honestly don't know where they are. So they're starting off on brand new bikes. They are the official BMW team for British Superbikes and for the roads as well.
That's pretty cool, isn't it, as a new team?
Yeah, Pete's got a great relationship with BMW and a great relationship with Triumph, which we also talk about as well. Ian Broughton, MLAV maybe does have them. There is talk that he took over phase machinery, but he's also had new machinery delivered from a dealer in Northern Ireland as well. So it's great to see MLAV on the grid.
What's he not running in this year, MLAV? Has he got a World Superbike team?
No, not yet.
Well, that's what he needs, isn't it?
Not yet.
He's obviously not doing enough.
I think Jody would have something to say if he took one more step out into another championship. And I can't fight. It's brilliant what he does. How he finds the time and the effort and the motivation to get it done is incredible. Him and Pete, the two hardest working guys in motorcycle racing at the moment, I think. Let's have a look. Kev Boy, keep up the good work. Just great to watch all your content with the cuppa. I thought you Pete with Hodgie Dave. Now we get Slighty next month. We're
trying as best.
We're trying the hardest. We've had conversations about this, and thank you, Kev. We'll keep an eye on the quotes and the comments going through. We've had conversations about this in terms of how we keep the content fresh and trying to get new, fresh interviews every week. And it's getting harder and harder to do that. So we might at some point switch up the format. We might have more conversational opinion things.
People might get more interesting.
People might get more interesting. What do you mean?
Well, it's really difficult because the riders haven't done anything yet. So they've been to Navarra. They've had one whip round Navarra on the new bikes, haven't they? So actually, they haven't got anything to tell us really yet until they've raced a couple of times. So then they suddenly become interesting again, don't they?
Yeah, they've got things to say.
Yeah, they've got things to say.
And through the BSB season, but then going into the winter.
Yeah.
Trying to keep this level of guest up isn't easy. And that's the point I'm getting across is that we've got to try. It's really difficult to keep the level of guests going, but we will do our very best. And
then you'll get me.
And then sometimes it'll just be us two doing this. Yeah. And we're doing okay. We've got 86 people watching at the moment. So thank you very much, all of you, for joining us for this. So yeah, we might just have to do filler weeks and things like that because it's getting less and less easy to be sustainable with the chats we have, and then going into next winter doing the same thing again with some of the great people. We've had a great winter just gone.
Yeah,
I've thoroughly enjoyed it. We've had some great guests on and been well received by you, our fantastic audience. Thank you so much for all your kind comments, all your feedback, all your shares on social media, everything you do to promote the show. It's as I say every week and on almost every comment, it genuinely is hugely appreciated. So thank you for everything you do to promote our little show that's growing into something fair-sized, really, isn't it? We're nearly at 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. We're on nearly 12,000 followers on Facebook. So we couldn't do what we do without you because it would just be us two talking to the camera and that would be it. So we're building a great little community. I really enjoy the interaction that you give us. You see a lot of the regular names pop up. There's one, Dave Greenslade, good evening. We, Phil, Ian Broughton, but there, James Moles, there are new names coming through all the time that are adding to this, and it's becoming such a great little community, and it's a respectful community as well. People can have conversations in the comments. They can have conversations on the comments on Facebook and Instagram, and it's great to see the respect that they all have for each other. A rational conversation, which is something that we miss sometimes on the forums because I don't know where they're.
I love the forums. I love the forums.
The forum makes my head hurt. I'm all for people. We're privileged to get to know the things we do, and there's people on the forums that are privileged to know what they do. The people on there that have absolutely no idea what's going on. And
So they just
sometimes
need educating.
and
That's all.
sometimes it's just put across in not quite the right way.
That's the issue. Yeah, the boy's asleep. See, I told you it was Emily that had
Oh,
that.
it's Emily. There we are.
I think, Mick, I'm going to run some competitions this year for people that I see at a racetrack wearing OffTrack merchandise.
Okay. You're talking really quietly because you can hear your own
I
voice
can't
in
even
your
hate
headphones,
it.
can't you?
I hate it.
That's why you're talking quietly. Welcome back, Howie. There's been some lovely comments
Hi,
about you while you're not here, but I'm not going to tell you because your ego's big enough
What's your
already.
go-to chippy order? It's obviously fish and chips and mushy peas.
Yeah,
Because you make a fish and chip and mushy pea butty
you do.
with no butter on it.
Or a Sunday roast.
Listen
Listen to this. I'll let her share this story with you. You're not going to believe this.
We were in London this weekend and I decided that I wanted a Sunday roast because we very rarely have one, do we? So we booked a lovely pub to go to, which was in Leadenhall Market, which is where they filmed Harry Potter. This is so off track, isn't it?
This is about as far off track as you're going to get.
So when we got there, they didn't have any bloody Sunday lunches left. So he said, we've got hamburgers, we've got fish and chips. And what else did he say? That was it. That's all they had left.
Belly pork.
A belly pork, which I don't like. So I had a battered haddock on a Sunday lunch.
Trimmings.
And it was amazing.
Yorkshire pudding. Battered haddock, Yorkshire pudding, all the trimmings, cabbage, carrots.
It was really good.
And gravy. Never seen anything
Watching people
like
do selfies of where Hagrid walked through Leadenhall
Exactly.
with Harry Potter. Oh, just absolutely loved it.
Let's have a look at some of these questions. Let's have a look. Simon Herbert, I really enjoy the EWC, but now they've dropped the older experienced racer commentators. I feel there's a lack of insight and becomes journalistic. That's a fascinating insight, because that's a fascinating comment, should I say, because EWC needs that level of insight and needs that level of experience to know what the riders are going through for people who've raced it. And that was a great thing that Jack Bernicle could do. Steve English has done a little bit of it as well.
History
Terry
back.
Reimer, Danny Webb's done a bit over the years.
So
as
who's
well.
doing it now?
I don't know. I don't know who's doing it. But we've got the Le Mans 24-hour coming up this weekend.
What's happened to Linney?
He crashed a bit before Christmas.
I don't know.
Or recently, he's injured. He's crashed and injured, and then he was withdrawn by the team, which is such a shame to start he did the defense of his world championship. I really feel for him. A lot of time for Linney. But hopefully he'll fix well and he'll be back for the next round. I think there's only 4 or 5 rounds during the season, so he'll be back at some point soon. But the Le Mans one is a big one. There are Brits riding it this weekend. Tom Ward, I think, is out there.
Oh, brilliant! I like Ward.
Tom Neve is out there doing it as well for the first time, which is great to see him back on a bike as well after such a difficult year last year for him. But then a great year with the birth of the baby as well. So talk about yin and yang for Tom Neve.
A lot going on.
There's a lot going on there.
Semtex Sam, Michael Dunlop won't come on.
No, I mean, if we could get 5 minutes with him,
his mouth,
it would be brilliant. we speak to Michael. We're on speaking terms. It's not that he doesn't know who we are, and he chooses not to. And like there's
can't argue about it, can you?
No, there's no obligation for anybody to come on this show of ours. We're grateful for everybody that does.
But yeah, we'd love him too, also.
But I think he would be a pinnacle. I would. Give me Valentino Rossi or Michael Dunlop to sit down and talk to. Michael Dunlop every time. Yeah. I wouldn't turn Valentino down should the opportunity come up.
To chat to, obviously.
Okay. But I would absolutely love to sit down with Michael and just listen to him talk and listen to his experiences and just do that. Yeah. That's something that
Taylor Mackenzie's got a baby.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
Yes, right. Sterling Peter Mackenzie.
Sterling, that's nice, isn't it?
Because where his dad's from?
SP Mackenzie.
Sterling is.
He's going to be a millionaire, that lad, I think.
Is SP Mackenzie?
SP Mackenzie.
I thought he's going to own a bank.
Yeah.
So no, absolutely for Taylor Mackenzie. Thanks for that, James. I did see that go through earlier, but I hadn't got back to it. James, is Wardy in the BSB paddock this year? Not that I'm aware of. Simon Patterson is usually part of the EWC coverage. Is he?
Wow.
Is all I have to say about that.
We had nothing then, did we?
Nothing to add to that.
Nothing to add to that.
Yeah, each to their own.
Hi, Mike. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Mike, good evening. Nice to see you, mate. Hope you're well. First question to Valley. Why do you hate Marquez? Oh, that runs deep, doesn't it?
Do you know, I don't think he does.
The rivalry runs deep.
I don't think he gives a tinker's toot about Marquez at all.
I
just
politely
all a game.
Disagree. Oh,
all a game.
All motorcycle racing's a game.
It's fabulous.
All motorcycle racing's a game. That is just a really hard played game, especially when you get to MotoGP level.
Yeah.
I'm one of the things I'm looking forward to this year is the renewed rivalry between Glenn and Tommy.
Brad and Kyle, I'm looking forward to.
That's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Brad and Kyle now have different agendas with Danny Kent thrown in the mix as well. The Bennett's British Superbike Championship 2025 is going to be absolutely outstanding.
We'd also like Scott Redding on, and he has done one recently. Which
he
says to
has.
me that he's maybe out of whatever contract.
Oh, with what he had with BMW. Yeah. Well, I'm going to make sure that we put a request in at World Superbike to speak to him and or at least speak to him there. If anybody has a contact for Scott Redding, I would be very grateful. He does follow us on Instagram. We do follow him that, and along with John McGuinness, who last week.
Oh, happy birthday, John!
Happy birthday!
He's obviously not watching it, but
happy birthday, John McGuinness. No, hopefully he's out doing something far more important than sat watching.
Getting back from Dubai, I believe.
They've been out there for the Formula One, haven't they? Didn't we have some pointers to talk to? Because we've been waffling on now for the best part of 50 minutes, and the numbers are still going up, which is great. So thank you very much, everybody. Let's have a look. Let me go back through some more. Mickey D is riding this year. Is he really at EWC? That's great news. It's something that he's very, very good at. He's a very deliberate rider. He will do well at that again, I think. And I think it's something he actually enjoys, isn't it? It's something different. Jeremy McWilliams would be an awesome guest. We had 10 minutes with him at the Northwest last year, but unfortunately the footage corrupted, so we couldn't put it out,
gutted.
Which was such a shame. I do still at some point when it's affordable want to go over to Northern Ireland when it's not the Northwest and go and see McWilliams. Go and see Johnny Ray. He's a very intense man. He's a very intense. Mature man. I was going to say old. Mature man. He's in his 60s, isn't he? He does incredibly well. Side guy, yes, he is at the Northwest 200 this year, without a doubt. And Jamie Hamilton and Phil McCallan has said he'll come on the podcast as well. Phil McCallan. But we have to try and get to see them because they're the ones I want to do in person. I enjoy doing the online ones,
but better in person.
But it's so much better in person.
The tales flow, don't they?
You have such a connection, and you can let people know the chemistry is a lot better when it's done in person. So maybe after the Northwest 200, and if we get a couple more sponsors for the show, we can save up and maybe do 4 or 5 days over there and pick up as many as we can. I know Chrissy did it a few years ago, and he did such a great job of it. And it's something that I'd love to do as well, and maybe pick up some different riders while we're over there.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Has anybody watched Josh Brooks's vlogs?
So may I just interject? Yeah. There was a comment that came through earlier on about asking about that. And forgive me, I forget who it was. I did see it come through on the side here, but asking about there are more and more riders doing vlogs now.
Yes, yeah.
Dean Harrison's doing it. Lee Johnston's doing
Jake
it.
Dixon.
Josh Brooks is doing it. Matt Dunn is doing it for Jake Dixon.
Yeah.
And I think the early ones are difficult to watch because it's not their natural way of doing it. Josh Brooks has been doing it all winter and he still looks uncomfortable doing it. But the information that he puts across and what he did with the night races and doing the super stock bike.
He doesn't pull any punches.
He doesn't pull any punches at all. And I love that because we don't have that too much. And that's been the great thing about it. Dean was a little bit clunky in his first couple, but he's relaxing and getting into it. Vicky's brilliant behind the scenes. Behind every great man, there's an even greater woman. And it's that. I think it brings such a different insight. There is a little bit of a feeling that it's a bandwagon thing, but as long as they're all different in terms of what they do and how they put it across, then it's great.
Oh, I never saw Garrett Gerloff once. Were they really good?
Garrett Gerloff, he's just nuts. Yeah,
is he?
Yeah, he's just it's just like
Gart.
He's just texting. Phil's Northern Irish. He'll be coming over and he'll be having words with you. You can't be doing that.
With this accent, you can't. Really.
Ulster Superbike has an open paddock. Jezza, Andy Reid, there's a great friend of ours over the years. We've missed seeing Andy in the British Superbike paddock. And Carl Phillips as well is a name that I remember from Superstock from years ago, racing against Jordan Weaving. So
that's why.
The more bike content out there, the better, no matter how clunky. You're right, Woody. I was clunky when I first started. Some would argue that I still am. But it's great, especially through the winter when there's nothing else going on. We need that content. And it's relying on us, on other podcasts, on the riders to do their 20-minute, which is much more digestible episodes. You got 20 minutes here and there, but I think they're realizing that 20 minutes of content is a day's work. But you get better and better as the editing goes on. Yeah. Or you pay someone to do it if you're a factory Honda rider. But I think Dean does it all himself. He enjoys that side of thing. I think they all do. Amy helps out a lot with Josh. Yeah. And Christy helps out a lot with Lee Johnston. So you need to step up. Anyway.
Start off.
You can do some editing. I'll let you do some editing. You enjoy it.
You edit my beauty, ladies, and I'll edit your podcast.
Okay. Jim Moody, Leonard, good evening. Can you get the Scottish rider on Jim Moody? Howard Selby, there's a story behind Jim Moody. Howard Selby, Ian Duffus, Brian Morrison, to name but a few. These guys are, I agree completely. That's another thing I wanted to do last year, but we didn't get around to doing it again. It's an affordability thing. To go up to Scotland for a few days and go up and see Howard Selby, Ian Duffus, Brian Morrison. They were three that I wanted to see after I'd been up to see
Brian Morrison, not a guitarist.
Was that not Jim Morrison?
Jim Morrison.
And I believe he's dead. Brian Morrison is alive and well in the glens of Scotland.
That's one for the book, isn't it?
Anyway, this is what I have to put up with on a daily basis, ladies and gentlemen. Jim Moody, I've got Jim's number. Jim and I are in touch. There's absolutely no chance he's going to come on this show or anybody's show.
Just don't want, does he?
He's just not his thing. He doesn't want to do it. He's happy for us to have a chat off air and to get some stories. And that's why I enjoy making sure his name stays about on the podcasts. I know Simo was trying to get Jim to join him on the show he did
do it together.
On the show he did recently, and Jim's like, no chance, not doing that. Absolutely. He's here, look.
Hi, Jim.
There he is. Look at that.
Bruce Anstey, we nearly got Bruce Anstey at the Northwest last year.
Yeah, we did. Nearly. Tim Seed was trying to help us out with that. You see, Jim, nothing but the truth. Yeah. This is the conversation we've had. And
people keep asking.
Fully respect it. Look at those laughing faces. Your name's not going to disappear, mate. I'm going to keep pushing that out as often as I can. Because if you're not going to tell your stories, we'll let other people do it for you. But welcome along, ladies and gentlemen, Jim Moody in the house. How bloody fantastic. You got to have those. Yep. So we digress shortly.
Master Mac. That's difficult to say. Master Mac McPhee. I don't know what the question is. Nesbitt's. Is it Nesbitt? Is it Charlie Nesbitt's time to shine? Is it finally?
100%. 100%. It's and I think he's got such a great teammate this year. He had Jacko last year. Great rider, happy doing his own thing. Spud's still learning. John McPhee's a completely different rider to...
At least I made someone laugh.
You do make someone... Oh, you always make people laugh. That is for sure. James Hillier, we'll get him on at the Northwest again. I love sitting to chat to James. But with John McPhee, he's kind of not raised the bar as such, but he's a Grand Prix rider. And he's used to doing things the Grand Prix way. And
that's going to be a shock, isn't it?
It's going to be a shock in the British Superbike paddock. It always is. Yeah. It's a national championship. It's not Grand Prix. But to see what he can do this year, and I don't think that Spud's going to want a rookie coming into the championship and upstaging him. So I think it's going to light a fire underneath.
It's going to be a battle, isn't it?
Yeah, he really. I agree, James. McPhee could spring a surprise this year, and I would love him to. And I'd love to see Spud move his way up into the championship, be a regular top 5. Storm be a regular top 8 on the BMW.
Yeah,
there's so many riders with a point to prove this season. up from the top of the grid to the bottom of the grid. There's so much going on, and it's not everybody can win a race. Not everybody can stand on the podium, but there are improvements to be made in a lot of places.
We'd love to have Michael Laverty on as well. So who asked him recently to go on one? Oh no, it was about a chat show, wasn't it? Trying to get him to do a chat show.
Oh, Johnny Stanleyland, yeah, who we do the chat
got...
shows with Kyle Ride that we did just after Christmas. And in a couple of weeks' time down near Nottingham. We tried to get him on a chat show, and he's just too busy. So maybe we can find something in the winter to be able to sit down with Michael. He's on the Welsh border, so he's not too far from here. That would be good. Again, he's on the list. It's as simple as that.
I would love to have you on.
Norge is another good one.
I could go on a side quest with Pip while you were talking.
You could go on a side quest. Yeah. Jennifer, what's a side quest?
A side quest is just something that you do when everybody else is doing something else. So then you can go and have an adventure.
Where did you have your side quest with Pippa Laverty?
I haven't had one. I'd like one though.
Well, you had a partial one.
I had a part at Donington Park.
At Donington Park, which involved whiskey and...
Yeah, I don't drink whiskey. It turns out.
Whiskey in for a sec.
Christ on a bike.
No, Jay, it's right. There's not a chance I'm picking a BSB champion this year. I find it, I think it's one of the hardest for many a year. Put your hand down, you can go to the toilet later. We'll see that with Steve Day when that comes up, but you're not going to be on with Steve Day, so go for it. Shock.
He's going to fight well hard for it with Brad being back, isn't he? He's not going to want somebody to just waltz straight back in and hopefully he's got his same bike.
But there's so many people that have got a fire lit underneath them now, and that's going to be the hardest thing to do for everybody. Glenn has a point to prove. 2 really close championship battles over the last 2 years. Tommy is desperate to get that #1 plate back with the Honda. Kyle wants to defend it with his life. Brad's not coming back to make up the numbers. Danny is a legitimate challenger this year. It's going to be difficult to
That's an
to
interesting
pick one.
Question.
It is. I'll get to that in a second. Okay. Mike Sterry, please interview some of the lesser known riders at the Northwest. They deserve some airtime. I agree completely, and as and when we can, we will. We'll go knock on some awnings.
Introduce yourself.
Introduce ourselves, and let them introduce themselves as well. Especially some of the newcomers, and find out what they're up to, and hopefully Jamie Hamilton will pop by for a chat as well, because that was just a wonderful moment last year, and he knew I didn't even know he knew who I was until we were sat outside the villa, and Jamie Hamilton walked past and goes, "Dave, how are you? Love the show." And you go like, "Ooh, crumbs." And that happened with Keith Ewan as well, with Sam Ermolenko, which blew my mind as well.
It was weird, wasn't it?
Let's have a look. What else have we got?
Simon Reed's been in Dubai all
Simon Reed's been doing some racing in Dubai. Yeah, he's done really well out there. So it's put in good bum in seat time for him. Brian Reed, what an absolute gentleman. I have quite a few favorite people in the paddock. Brian Reed's up there with the best of them. Such a gentle soul. I have all the time in the world for Brian. And that would be amazing to sit down with him and listen to his story. And I'm glad you enjoyed the one with Scott Swan, because he's such a great character, and his dad is amazing as well. If you haven't seen those episodes yet, we've done Ruben's House. We've done
Hi, Mark.
Brains. Good evening, mate. We've done Ruben's House recently. Scott Swan. Just different chats, but really enjoyable to do, and quite an insight as well. Ruben surprised me in a way because of his outlook, but Swanee's just brilliant. So he's such a great kid. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do on the Send My Bag by IWR Honda racing team.
Big name, that, isn't it?
But I did, but I nailed it.
Send My Bag.
You can't. Don't even go down that road.
I've gone.
Glenn, let's have a look. We've seen a different champion since 2017. I'm curious to see if Haslam, Brooks, Ray, Bridewell, or Ride can take their second, or in Josh's case, third. Couldn't agree more. Jack Hammersley, MotoGP Esports World Champion in the house.
Well done, Jack.
The new tyre this year should bring the BMWs and Ducatis back into the mix at more circuits, hopefully. That's the hope, Lewis. Yeah, that is absolutely the hope. It is a slight improvement on last year where the Ducatis and the BMW struggled. So I'll make sure we have a note of that with Steve Day in a couple of weeks' time as well.
What is the tyre change, please?
The compound has changed slightly on the SC0. I don't know whether it's more on the shoulders of the tyres where it's not quite a harder compound. It's
Mark
a little
Woodage.
bit softer.
What's the tyre change, please?
It should add a bit more longevity to the BMWs and to the Ducatis.
So they won't fade away. That's good.
And they might have just a bit more at the beginning as well. So it just brings the field closer together again. What's the next question?
Tell you what my question was.
Oh, yeah.
With the people that are now floating around, because obviously when this goes back to when OMG became defunct for a few days.
Yep.
Do you think there were any teams out there that thought, bugger, I wish I'd not signed, seeing as Kyle, Brad, and Joe? Do you think everybody had already made the... Really?
Yeah.
So nobody would want to sign the British Superbike Championship instead of the person that they already had?
No, because you couldn't foresee it coming. So why? No, because everybody else was signed up before the end of the season. And I think Kyle, with his loyalty to Paul and to Al, I don't think he would have gone anywhere. If there was ever a chance that they would put a team together, he's so happy in that team. He's so comfortable in that team. I don't think, I don't think everybody's happy with their team and their riders. I don't think, and it's the same with Brad coming available.
It's like owning a Fiesta and somebody offering you a Lamborghini. That's what I'm getting at. I was just wondering if you thought that anybody thought they had a Fiesta and they could have had a Lamborghini. You think everybody was really settled with who they'd chosen and signed? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That was my question.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Good evening, Sean Ride. Has a single rider team ever won the BSB title?
Oh.
Yeah, James Moles is right. I think when Birdie, when he won a title with Birdie, I think he was a single man team. He's often run two, but I'm trying to think of others that in the last few years. Was Brooksy on his? No, Brooksy was second when he was with Tag. Leon had teammates. That's a really, really good question. There's a fair chance it might change this year. If it hasn't been done, it's very likely it's going to be done this year, mate. That is for sure. Thanks, Jack. There you go. Easton was teammate.
We're not counting a super sport because that's not.
No,
you can't have the same
that was
data,
Hizzy, wasn't it? That yeah, was that 2003? Yeah, it must have been. Well, I don't want to know what Kyle, Brad, and Joe had in weird offers, Woody. Not at all. Come on, give me some more questions.
Sorry. I asked Sean if Kyle got any weird offers. Danger. I didn't read it. How will Davey do on a superbike?
Birdie did in 2003 with Shaky and 2002 with Hislop. There
Thanks,
you go.
Brains.
Cheers, Brains. Thank you, mate. So what?
How do you think Davey will do on a superbike?
I think he's got a lot of learning to do.
But he can ride a superbike.
Yes. Well, Hickey and I spoke about this last night. He doesn't have the experience on a BSB bike.
1994.
Simo, yeah. On the Duckham's Norton.
Norton?
Yeah. Thanks, Jim. There have been single rider teams over the years.
Yeah.
Brilliant. I couldn't think of any off the top of my head, that's for sure. They start becoming a list of them now. Like Davey and Nob, you should know that. Yeah, Davey, he did 4 rounds, I think, with Paget's and the Honda in 2023.
But the Honda wasn't in good shape then,
no, for whatever reason, that didn't work out for him. He rides a superbike on the roads, but it's very much closer to stock than superbike. And also on the superbike on the road, you can run the same electronics.
Right, okay.
So in BSB, switching to Motec electronics, potentially slightly stiffer chassis. There are other factors coming into play for Davey this year, running an actual BSB BMW. So he's going to have a bit of adjusting to do, and Hickey will help him with that. And then they'll push each other on the roads. And that's going to be a real fascinating sub-story to the Northwest and the TT this year.
Can we just go back to testing? Right at the very beginning, there were a couple of teams that got to test.
At Navarra?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Why was that?
there was a shakedown test on the Saturday. So you imagine for the Taz team, they hadn't turned a wheel at all. They'd done no shakedown test or anything. The bike literally went from the workshop to Navarra. So it was an opportunity to run the gremlins out, any little niggles that they have, where Sunday and Monday were full tests, so they could get on and do the full test, and it wouldn't impact what was going on with any teams breaking down or any issues that they had. So yeah, it was a little bit of dispensation for those, and especially if they go to new manufacturers as well.
Yeah. Opinions on the F900s continuing to 2027? We don't have one.
It's a manufacturer driven series, so it's great for BMW to push the F900R, and it fills a great gap in BSB between the racing for the British Championships, and it usually makes for quite interesting racing. So yeah, long way to continue.
Yeah. How hard was the trials day with the FS3 lads?
What's the next question?
Shall I show you my screensaver? Will you be able to see it on the
camera?
camera?
Put it for the camera, yeah.
That's how hard it was.
That's how hard it was. Trials riding is the hardest thing I've ever done on a motorcycle, but thoroughly enjoyed it.
Good day, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good day. I don't ride enough to have the machine control to do it properly, but I just enjoyed being out and razzing around the field and pulling wheelies and skids. It was just good fun to do. How it happened when you talk to Nick Jeffries and the level that they've worked at and the level that they've ridden at, doing the SCART and international 6-day events and stuff like that. And
Christian and Max were really
skill.
Annoyingly good at it almost immediately, weren't they?
They're not coming back.
They are. Such good fun.
We
Such a good team.
What do you think of the rumours of superbikes being done away with and the Supersport Plus? Try that again. Hello. Testing. What do you think of the rumours of superbikes being done away with and the Supersport class becoming the top production class? Heard Greg Haynes and JT talking about it. It's not just BSB that I think will consider the change. World Superbikes will as well, because the 1000cc production bikes, the market isn't there. If you bring in the next gen super sports, that's where the market is. These 795s, the 765 Triumphs, the R9, the Ducati V-twin. That's where the market is. And I think as long as you've got two motorcycles on a track, it's just going to be racing, isn't it? And it'll soon be.
Imagine how big the grid would be.
Well, this is it as well. Imagine 32 rider grid for a change instead of 26. It would be something that's really good to see. And the R9 was tested not so long back as well. And from what I hear, it looks and sounds like a full-on race bike. So it's not going to be much of a difference to the casual viewer. It's only going to be the old people like me and the younger people that are listening and watching this now that remember the ZX10s and the R1s and the Ducatis, and you go back to the Nortons and the RC45s and the RC30s. There's always been progress. It's always changed. It's always evolved. And if the evolving way now is to go down in capacity for the British circuits, then so be it. It's still going to make great racing.
Yes, Darren Fry's a hooligan on a motorcycle.
Just generally.
There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, just generally.
Even on a scooter through the paddock.
Yeah, it was great when he let his chins out. It's just funny. Somebody asked how was Woody intrigued to see what Ido can do on the Kawasaki. He's a different teammate for Max after having Jason last year. Ido and Jace, two different characters completely, and I think Ido brings something a little bit different to the team.
He put a post out recently saying that he has ridden more in this off season than he has done in years and years.
Excellent.
Which is brilliant coming into a season, isn't it?
You can't beat bumming seat time. It's as simple as that coming into a season.
Yeah.
Hickey said last night he's done 22 days of riding this year already, which is just a phenomenal amount of time. Let's have a look. Kawasaki might show potential at the short twisty circuit. It's an old bike, isn't it, Lewis? That's the difficult thing. It's an old bike
compared to
the rest of them. Max did well at Thruxton last year.
Yeah, mega.
So it's still got legs in it, although it is the oldest bike on the grid. But you never know. Jason won at Donington on it.
Yeah.
We can't forget that. That amazing race 3 at Donington in May last year was absolute. That was one of the best adverts for the Bennett's British Superbike Championship that I could be prior to the final round. Let's have a look. What do you think to the lack of TV coverage?
Okay, Kyle.
It's we got some guys coming on tonight. Ask Kyle your question.
Oh, did you get any funny offers after the whole OMG thing went a bit tits up? Did anybody like make you any bizarre offers of any description?
To ride for them?
Oh, no, it didn't say that. It just said any strange offers. That's all.
Where were we there? James Holden, what do you think to the lack of TV coverage? It's pretty bad, especially in the current climate financially.
That's really difficult, James, because for some people it's not bad at all.
I mean, it's worst case scenario, it's £30 a month, which is for some people is a lot of money. Fully understand that.
What's on Quest?
I have no issue with that. The sprint race is on Quest. I think BSB highlights are on Quest, and there are 4 live rounds on Quest this year.
Yeah. Coop's team making sport back. You'd have still won it. Such a fan.
Imagine you two in a team. I'd pay money to watch that.
That would be sponsored by OnlyFans as well.
That would be sponsored by OnlyFans. Coops and Kyle in the same team.
Yeah,
brilliant.
That'd be good fun.
Yeah, we knew what you meant, mate. It's fine. We knew what you meant. It's not paying £30 a month, and I get that, Mick. It's not for everybody, and this is what Stuart was trying to put across. And I don't want to go down the rabbit hole. I fully appreciate that £30 is a lot of money, and everything's going up. Utility bills are going up, mortgage rates are going up, everything's going up. Nothing's coming back down, and it is difficult to find £30 a month when you hadn't previously. But there are free-to-air highlights. There are other ways of.
And everybody's I'm
not being an advocate of finding other ways of doing it, but there are other ways of doing it.
Yeah.
Maybe somebody will put it up in the comments without me having to say it.
I'm sure somebody will offer you something in the comments.
I'm sure somebody knows someone who knows someone. That is absolutely sure. But it is, as James has said, if you want to do it, you'll make it happen. It's EWC. It's there we are. Thanks, Dave.
It's all coming up now.
Here we go. Yeah, it's everything in one place. MotoGP, World Superbikes, BSB, EWC, Speedway, motocross.
For the people that don't want to pay it, they're just not going to have to pay it.
It's exactly that. And it's such a shame. And I feel for them. And it's out of everybody's control. It's the way sport is going. That's what sport in America, you pay for everything. For whatever sport it is, they're on different providers, whether it's whether it's American football, whether it's baseball, whatever.
I saw the funniest comment today on one of the forums, though.
What?
Somebody had posted that they'd only just found out that Eurosport was no more, and that nobody had covered anything about it.
I wouldn't know nobody put anything out about it. What a shame.
Nobody.
Oh, whoops.
No. Incredible.
Yeah, that's difficult.
Yeah.
BSB fan posted all the BSB races on YouTube until they banned it.
Did they?
Yeah, because it's copyrighted content. That's why we can't put.
Yeah,
clips.
We're not allowed to do it. We're not allowed to put clips in anything.
No, we can't put clips in our YouTube videos.
Practice.
From practice,
you can from practice,
but not from anything that was broadcast. So yeah, you can't put anything that's been broadcast on the TV.
That's fly, that though, isn't it?
That is a little bit fly. Yeah, there's a few on there, but there's ways and means, and as the fine ladies and gentlemen in the comments have put to the side there are ways and means. You just can't record it.
You just can't record it.
That's a difficult thing. What other things have we got? What we got coming up?
I'm done on here.
You're done on there, are you? That's it. What other questions have we got, ladies and gentlemen? Because we're an hour and 20 minutes in. That's absolutely flown by. And the fact that you're still here and listening to us and watching us waffling on is absolutely fabulous. I know you're doing it mainly because of this one and not this one.
Yeah. You can record it.
Oh, can you? Excellent.
We didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that at all. Well, we don't have it, so we don't know.
We do. We do have it. Your favourite BSB commentary moment?
That's a great question. Do you have a favourite BSB commentary moment?
Yeah, I can tell you mine exactly.
Go on.
Quite a few years ago, there was a gentleman that got offered to come and do some Moto 3 commentary while at Alton Park. That was my favourite bit.
Only got to do it once and never got invited back.
No, you did really well though.
It was all right.
Yeah.
Greg was brilliant for that one. And I very much enjoyed it. But yeah, it's not for me.
No, not at all.
I like doing this. I like rider chats. I like
you
telling
like people talking back.
I like telling stories. I had the respect I have for Dunk on a Friday to just stand up there and lay it all out of what's going on.
Yeah,
is an art and a skill in itself, and I don't have that, and not at all. I've seen how difficult it is trying to do a solo podcast when I've tried to do one for 20 minutes before Christmas, and you can't.
It's rubbish, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not great. He's got a timing screen, but he's got the knowledge, he's got the understanding of it. It works really, really well. Let's have a look. Finally, a video with no adverts. There will be when it goes back. When it's live, they don't put the adverts in, but when this goes out on the playlist, was that Colin Edwards?
I don't know.
I'm sure that it might have been Colin Edwards in World Superbikes that he's gone out with a hard on. Oh, was it Keith Ewan? Thanks, Jack. Yeah, there's been some great what they used to call Coleman balls. They're the commentary cock-ups, named after David Coleman.
Oh, about holding the batsman's willy.
The batsman's holding the bowler's willy.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, something like that.
No, it's right. I agree with that. Dave's very good, and I see this in real life an awful lot. People just tell Dave stuff. So we'll be walking along and somebody will tap him on the shoulder. They'll be chatting away, and 10 minutes later, Dave knows the colour of their underpants, what the dog's called, where they went on holiday in 1997, and what the goals and dreams are for the next 10 years. It's the strangest thing. It's really weird.
It is. Can you pause for a minute while my wife sorts the washing out?
No, hang on. That's as long as I can do. Who's the super sport king?
No, I mean Mick Sheldon, the Ad Blocker Pro, no adverts on YouTube. Fully appreciate that. Like that stems are one of our main revenue streams. But I appreciate that you don't want to watch the adverts. I completely understand that.
Keenan, Software Glue, or Jack Kennedy.
Oh. You would have to say Keenan because he did it at world level.
Yeah.
That's the only.
Yeah, I get it.
That's the only thing I could say. If they were both in the same championship, that would be a really difficult conversation to have.
It would be horrendous racing also. Can you imagine watching it?
Yeah, because they would take lumps out of each other all the time. Yeah, Jack's done it on different bikes. I agree with that, but he's done it at national level. He's not done it on the world stage.
Thank you, Mick.
And you think that's kind of no, brilliant. Thank you, Mick. Much appreciated. He does as well. I should have remembered that. Yeah, that's a difficult argument. That it's.
Do we need a show of hands? Team Mick, Team Keenan.
No, is that not kind of the same as?
My mum does not like Keenan Software Glue.
No, she doesn't.
Oh my God. And once that woman has got a grudge against somebody,
is that like comparing Shaky to Johnny Ray? 6 domestic
you can if you like.
Domestic titles versus world titles.
How many did Shaky win? 6.
Yes.
Well, I wonder what was his 7th campaign going to be called? Do you reckon?
7th Heaven.
No,
Strive
it has to
for
be
5, in the mix for 6, War for 4, and then 7th Heaven.
Yeah. I agree. Jackie's one hell of a rider.
Oh, no question. I'm not doubting his talent in any way, shape, or form. It just the basic obvious thing of being a British champion and a world champion. That's literally all it is. It's not calling his talent into question.
Like you need a race of champions, don't you?
Yeah.
Basically.
Oh, that would be so
Where
cool.
would you hold it? Cadwell Park.
Cadwell Park. So Top Rack will smoke everybody.
Yeah, he wouldn't.
Yeah, the British tracks are tougher. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It's a tricky one to work on. What have we got coming up over the next few weeks then, Jennifer? What guests have we got? So just run the ladies and gentlemen who are later to the show, what we've got coming up over the next couple of weeks.
Hickey out next.
You need to talk louder. I know you're not wanting to do it because you can hear yourself, but you're very quiet.
Hickey out next.
Hickey's out next. He's out next Wednesday. That'll be edited tomorrow and Friday.
Steve Day the week after.
Steve Day is indeed the week after. Yep, the BSB preview show.
Aaron Slight the week after that.
Aaron Slight while we're at the Northwest 200.
But we'll have seen you all by then, won't we? We'll have seen a lot of you if you go to Alton Park.
Yeah, if at Alton Park at the test at round 1 and some of you at the Northwest 200 as well. It'll be great. So if you see us knocking around, feel free to kick our ankles and say hello.
The merchandise now has gone out to no, it hasn't been posted yet, but it's been offered out to the patrons, and they've all had their first picks. So the new OffTrack merchandise is now up for sale. Dave's wearing the hoodie. So this logo is going to be slightly bigger on the front.
50% bigger.
50% bigger. And then can you turn around, please? Oh. And then nice OffTrack. So we've changed it very slightly for some of the new merch.
It's not a change in the logo. It's just a little merch line we've done. And a massive thank you to Chris at RidinGraphics for helping us with this and
Stitch It.
And Stitch It in Worley as well, that has done such a great job on the merch.
I'm a massive fan of trying to use local people. And we've always said on the podcast that we would try and support people in the industry. And Stitch It have been brilliant. They've really, really looked after us, haven't they? And the quality of this stuff is mint.
The screen printing is great,
especially the hoodie. It's like an Ugly and Co kind of level.
Yeah, it is.
Hoodie.
Yeah, the thickness of the material is great. So
I will post some photos of them soon, just so you can see what they're like, what we've got.
I think there's the printed beanies on the end as well.
I'll grab it in a sec.
Yeah, so we're gone down a merch line. We did it a little bit when we first started with Hammy at HMY. And now we've sort of redone the logo. We've rejigged it a little bit, and it's just something to promote the show, really, and do a little bit of merch, because it seems that people have been asking us for it, and they want to show their support for the show as Mick does with the Patreon side of things. There's the YouTube membership as well. So Dave Greenslade, he's got a cap. Mick Pringle, will it be sent out before Alton? I'm hoping so.
We're hoping so.
The order's been in over a week now, so I'm just waiting for them to get back to me. Yes, I did. I emailed Megan at Stitch It, and hopefully we can get those out, either posted out or brought with us to Alton Park or whatever. So should anybody else like to be interested in the merchandise, we'll put a post out over the next couple of days and see what comes back.
I've actually got some time off over Easter, so
yes,
I'll do some stuff.
We'll do some things over the Easter weekend while I cry about the football. I know none of you are interested in football, apart from Brains.
Yeah,
my man in the know.
I didn't know that Storm was having a merch stand. Didn't know that.
Is he? But I thought Fan Merch were doing. Is he doing all his own stuff? Because Hickey's the only one that does his own merch at the minute. And if Storm, that's what he's doing, then fantastic.
A lot of people do their own now, don't they?
Yeah, and I think it's a great income stream for them as well. And you build a following like Hickey has and like Storm has, they are gonna go down like a metaphorical storm.
Oh yeah, there we go. Look. That's interesting.
Yeah,
brilliant.
All right, check you lot out being in the know. Brilliant. I mean, fair play to him, and it's what needs to be done.
Barney wants a large hoodie.
Without a shadow of a doubt. Barney, thanks, mate. We'll have Storm on the show at some point as well. We did say we had him over here back in January when we went up to the Enduro and had a bit of breakfast with him, and
he just nips over for breakfast. It's so cool.
Yeah,
are you around?
Just get a text message. Breakfast, yeah, go on then. And it'd be great to have him on the show, but I wanted to get him some time on the BMW first, so then we can have a proper conversation.
That's what I meant about people becoming interesting. They're not interesting until they've done something, are they? That's so Storm. What have you done while you haven't been riding a bike for?
He's probably the one that you could ask, "What have you not been doing?" So. But your point is right. Yeah. Your point is right. Let's get some laps done at BSB. Let's let it shake down over the first. I was like Steve Bracknell then. You know who Steve Bracknell is, do you?
Well, yeah, I do, but I didn't know he did that.
Assistant manager at Royal Oak on TikTok. It's a parody. He's not real, but he's absolutely brilliant. Back with TikTok again, which I've got my first 400,000 view video.
400,000 views for something that is not podcast related in the slightest.
It's absolutely not motorcycle related at all. Yeah. It's movie magic.
Oh my God, what do we think about the current MotoGP season?
Hey, there's a question.
I lasted 30 seconds of the last Moto3 race. I fell fast asleep.
Well, you'd done 20,000 steps around London.
26.
Look, when we spoke to...
Give me a clue.
Oh, for goodness sake. Frankie Carchady. When we spoke to Frankie Carchady at the start of last season, Frankie's eyes lit up when he spoke about what Mark does and what they saw on the data even from that first Valencia test that they did back at the end of 23.
Yeah.
He is such a unique rider. It's absolutely no surprise he's doing what he's doing. And the biggest surprise, I think, is Alex in doing what he's doing, which is also great to see.
Somebody marked themselves safe from Alex Marquez on Facebook this morning.
Yeah, he did have a bit of a run, didn't he, at the weekend? But it's the pinnacle of motorcycle racing. Until they change some of the regulations, for me, take the wings off. The ride heights go in next year, so that's a start. Make the bikes back to being slippery again. Let's get some proper overtaking done and not trying to slice
with
through
all
somebody's leg with a fin.
It's all the things after the race that get me.
Oh,
so everybody finishes the race, and then it's like, well, actually, we didn't want you to win, so that's an issue with your bike. And
God, that's cynical.
Well, it feels like that, doesn't it?
It feels like,
It very much feels like that.
But I thought Maverick was so good.
There isn't a link at the moment, Phil, but email Dave.
Yeah, or just drop us a message on social media.
Drop us a message on socials. We'll sort it for you.
We'll send you some pictures through. We are going to work on a shop front at some point, but again,
I agree, Sean. They are a joke. Absolutely did my head in, that whole thing.
Yeah, but to see Maverick so happy and the difficulty that he and Bastianini have had on the KTM, it's great to see somebody so publicly effusive about being, and he is a complicated little soul.
Yeah.
He's not the easiest to work out, but he was so happy and so proud to be where he was. And he's the people's champion almost. It's one of those, the metaphorical champion of the day. It's a shame it was taken away from him, and I get the reason about it is the team weren't expecting him to be at the front. He was going to be in the pack, so they adjust the tire pressures accordingly. I had this conversation with Chris at RidinGraphics on the way across to Lincolnshire yesterday.
Was he as cross as me?
Yeah. The hardest thing about the tire rule is that Michelin give the guidance for pressures. If you go out either side of those pressures, they can't guarantee the safety of the tire. So if anything happens to the tire, it's down to Michelin to do this.
Oh my God.
That's the issue.
No, Craig, I'm with you. And I hate conspiracy theories. But my God, if we could guess when Marc Marquez was going to overtake his brother on which lap, then
which we did at Thailand.
Bullshit, innit?
Yeah, exactly. The end of lap 23.
Excuse my language.
60% of the lap. There he goes, and then pulls a 1.1 gap because he's protected the temperature of the front tire, which has left a load of.
We could just watch Formula One if you wanted to.
A load of meat left on his rear tire that he can go and just play.
No.
I didn't expect Pecco to be so much behind Mark on a circuit like Qatar, which suits him and not Mark. I agree. The biggest issue for Pecco is qualifying. He can't qualify at the moment. And the sprint race with the smaller fuel tank, because it's a different fuel tank for the sprint race, because it's a lower fuel load, then he's on the back foot straight away.
So we had conversations about riders that can ride any bike. They just get on it and they ride it. So potentially at some point, Pecco's team need to go, I'm really sorry. That's your bike. Go and ride it.
And Mark will ride around anything.
Mark will ride around anything.
And through things normally.
Well, it's like, fucking hell.
What?
I can't think of his name.
Did you just swear?
I did, sorry. It was just, my brain's going to work in a minute.
You've done an hour and 32. You're doing well. Dave Greenslade's, you have a think about that.
I will.
Dave Greenslade has nailed it. Mark is the last remaining. He's catching off whatever it is. He's the last remaining alien. He is above any of the riders in MotoGP. He has been there with the best of them. He's not a multiple world champion for no reason. Well done.
Thank you.
And you've now got the best rider on the best bike. So what's going to happen? It's exactly that. I mean, I think Pecco's playing with them. He's sandbagging a little bit because he's got this new teammate who's been around a bit. He's really, really good. And he just wants to give him a little bit of grace. It's a 21-round season.
Can you tell he's a massive Pecco fan?
42 races. And he just wants to give Mark a little bit of grace. Welcome to the team. You have some trophies. And then I'm just going to smash the living granny out of you from the European round
head start.
7
race.
8 race head start.
8 race head start.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, Toprak to
Toprak
MotoGP.
potentially into
World's first.
I don't think I can take that off there. No,
World's first.
Toprak into MotoGP, yes, via Honda World Superbike potentially. He could be the first man to win World Superbike titles on 3 different manufacturers.
Which would be nuts.
Which would be incredible.
Yeah.
Absolutely incredible. And then, but will it paper over the cracks for Honda? He rode the Yamaha. Johnny got on it. It's not quite worked. He's got on the BMW. He's made it world champion.
Toprak is an alien.
Toprak is a World Superbike alien. Absolutely no question at all. Let's have a look. And the biggest thing is Mark had the best late race pace in the field. Yeah, because he saves his tyres. It's exactly what he did at Thailand. He put 1.1 into his brother on lap 24.
I'll tell you what was really good on that. I am a big Neil Hodgson fan anyway. But Neil was talking about what Mark does at the end of a race and why he can still carry on riding like he does with such speed. And it's basically all about the fact that he's sliding the rear tyre. He makes it so he has to slide the rear tyre, which makes him really fast.
And then stands the bike up and away he goes.
When everybody else is just sliding around like, my God.
Let's just go back up. James Holden, love the pod with Johnny Eyre. One of the best. Thank you very much, James. Johnny is just a great, great guy. It took us a month or more to put it together, a bit like with Hickey.
So busy.
As we said earlier, the mechanic chats don't hit the numbers that Nick Jeffries will hit, that Ron Haslam will hit, that's the
qualitative.
The old guys, the older riders, the legends of the sport will hit. But it's exactly that. It's what Matt Dunn quotes as qualitative. Everyone who watches it loves it. And I'm so glad that you all enjoy the mechanic chats. We will be bringing you more as the season unfolds, without a shadow of a doubt, because as you're finding out, they've got better stories than the riders.
And they can tell them. They're not scared about telling them.
They're not scared at all.
Probably Alton Park, Jack, I reckon the 2026 rumours will start.
Yeah, absolutely they will.
I mean, we could start one now if you wanted.
There's
plenty.
I saw another comment earlier, but I can't find it, and I can't remember what it was. Oh, Nick, there we are. The Nick Jeffries pod was great, and you didn't even get to talk about DJ. Any idea when you might get back to catch up with Nick? Thanks, Pete. It'll be after the TT. Nick is very keen to do it. He was over the moon with the response and the comments that he got. And also what you find with a lot of the guests, it's not the comments that they see on Facebook and on YouTube. It's the ones they get personally. It's the messages that they get from their friends, from competitors, from their peers in the sport. And that's what really fuels their...
And then it brings all the memories back as well, doesn't it?
And tell more stories and do some and do more about it. And but we'll get the DJ one done.
So I have a master plan for this year, and it's potentially going to take maybe, about the DJ thing. But I think it's going to take maybe a year to actually do it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if at the end of the year I come on here by myself and I'm ever so excited, I've managed to do it. Dave has to do the thing, but I will have organised it.
Yeah. We can get something together for that, without a doubt.
So.
I think it would be a fitting tribute. To DJ, without a shadow of a doubt. I think that's an hour and 37 minutes, isn't it?
Hot chocolate time.
It's hot chocolate time, and
try and think of all the things that we meant to say.
Try and think of the things that we meant to. I think we've covered everything off pretty much well. Thank you for all your questions. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Most importantly,
it's really important.
All of those of you on the right-hand side of the screen as we look at it are all subscribers. Thank you very much.
Very grateful.
Without you, the show isn't anything. So thank you so much for as well. We feel Ryan Farquhar, he would be another one without a shadow of a doubt. Lee Johnston, he gets enough coverage.
He does.
But we will.
For a little guy.
Without a doubt. We'll have Lee Johnston. We've not done a one-to-one with Lee Johnston properly. We had 20 minutes with him at the bike show at XL at the beginning of 23. And that was the last time that we had it on. Links for the merch.
Dave, just drop us a message. I'll sort it.
Drop us a message, mate. We'll put that all together. We will at some point, depending on the what's the word? Demand. Depending on demand, we might get a Shopify front put up or something like that. But again, it all costs money.
At the moment, it's just easier to send us a message and we'll sort it out.
It is because that money's better off putting us at BSB and the Northwest 200 and things like that. So that's where we're going to go with it at the moment, but we will do things individually, and hopefully those of you that are subscribers that are watching this within the next couple of days, we should have some news for you about when the merch is ready. I'm hopeful that it will be tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Mick, yeah, you're absolutely right. He's an hour down the road, if that. I think by the time you get to him, he's an hour. It's an hour to Witt, but he's just off the M62. It's for us, it's classed as local. We did a 250-mile round trip yesterday just for Hickey.
I didn't.
We as a podcast. So that will do. Invoice will be in the post. What from us to you or you to us? Yeah, Jim, hoping Dom I'm sure he'll be sorted for the TT.
I thought he was.
He hasn't got a big bike sorted yet.
But he's got a bike.
He got the Super Twin announced.
Yeah.
And he's seeded for Super Sport and for the Super Stock and Super Bike.
He needs to get spending them pennies then.
I'm sure something will come up for him without a shadow of a doubt. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it. That will do us for tonight. Thank you so very much for joining us. I hope you've been entertained as much as we have doing it. We will do it again in the not too distant future, I'm sure. Jennifer, thank you very much for joining me tonight. And then we'll put this out as a show after this. We'll put the audio out tomorrow. I'll get on with Hickey. Ladies and gentlemen, next Wednesday, Peter Hickman. The week after that, Steve Day. The week after that, Aaron Slight. After that is
we're making stuff up after.
After that, it's just like you just get what you're given. All right, we can cope with that. So that's it from us. We're going to go and have a well-earned hot chocolate and a bit of television. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for your support.
See you all at Alton, hopefully.
See you all at Alton Park. Ladies and gentlemen, good night.